Street food. It's a universal language. It's a window into a culture's soul. From sizzling skewers to steaming bowls, every country boasts its own unique flavors. But there's one street food delicacy that might make you raise an eyebrow, maybe even your stomach rat on a stick. Yes, you read that right. In certain corners of the world, rodents aren't just pests. They're a protein-packed snack. Imagine strolling through a bustling market. The air is thick with the aroma of spices and grilling meat. You spot a vendor with a smoking grill, flames licking at rows of rats. Skewered whole, these aren't your average sewer dwellers. They're field rats, often considered cleaner and leaner. Intrigued? Horrified? It's a normal reaction. Our Western sensibilities tend to shy away from anything remotely rodent-related. But before you dismiss it as disgusting, let's delve deeper into the world of rat on a stick. The sight of grilled rats can be jarring. My first encounter left me speechless. Rows of charred critters stared back at me. Travel is about pushing boundaries, embracing the unfamiliar. I decided to try rat on a stick. Imagine a cross between chicken and rabbit. It challenged my preconceptions. Street food can open your mind to new possibilities. Why would anyone eat a rat? In many parts of the world, it boils down to taste and necessity. Rat meat is a lean protein source. For some, it's a way of life, sustaining generations. It's about understanding diverse food practices. Let's talk about Cambodia for a moment. Here, rat meat, especially field rat, isn't just a novelty, it's a staple. It's a common sight in local markets, sold alongside chicken, pork, and fish. Grilled rat is a popular snack enjoyed by people from all walks of life. The taste, as I've mentioned, is often compared to other lean meats with a slightly gamey flavor. It's versatile and can be prepared in various ways: grilled, fried, stir-fried, often seasoned with local herbs and spices. For many Cambodians, rat meat evokes memories of childhood, of family gatherings, of traditional recipes passed down through generations. It's not just food, it's a connection to their heritage. So, the next time you see rat on a stick, try to look beyond the initial shock value. Consider the cultural context, the history, and the people for whom this is simply a part of life. The flavor of rat meat, like any other protein, is influenced by its diet and environment. Field rats, foraging on fruits, grains, and nuts, tend to have a cleaner, milder flavor compared to their urban counterparts. The terroir of the rat, if you will, plays a significant role in its culinary appeal. In some cultures, the preparation methods further enhance the taste. Marinating the meat in spices, herbs, and even fermented sauces helps tenderize it and infuse it with flavor. Grilling over an open fire imparts a smoky aroma and a crispy texture. The skill of the vendor also matters. A seasoned street food vendor knows how to select the best rats, how to prepare them properly, and how to cook them to perfection. It's an art form, a culinary dance between tradition and taste. So while the idea of eating rat might seem off-putting at first, understanding the nuances of its consumption, the sourcing, the preparation, the cultural significance, can make it a more palatable concept. The history of eating rats is longer and more widespread than you might think. Long before supermarkets and factory farms, our ancestors relied on readily available sources of sustenance. Rats, plentiful and adaptable, found their way onto the prehistoric menu. Archaeological evidence suggests that rodents were consumed in ancient Rome, where dormice were considered a delicacy. In medieval Europe, during times of famine, rats provided much-needed sustenance. So the idea of eating rats isn't new, nor is it confined to a specific region or culture. It's a testament to human resilience, to our ability to adapt and survive in challenging circumstances. Throughout history, what we consider edible has been shaped by necessity, availability, and cultural norms. The rat, often demonized as a pest, has played a surprisingly significant role in our culinary past. In some cultures, eating rats goes beyond mere sustenance. It's intertwined with tradition, ritual, and even spirituality. In certain parts of India, for example, the Adi tribe considers rat meat a delicacy, reserved for special occasions and festivals. These rats, known as bane, are not your average sewer dwellers, but large, forest-dwelling rodents, considered clean and even sacred. Their consumption is accompanied by specific rituals and beliefs passed down through generations. Similarly, in parts of Africa, rats are sometimes used in traditional medicine and spiritual practices. Their consumption is believed to have healing properties or to bring good luck. These practices highlight the complex relationship between food, culture, and belief systems. They remind us that what we eat is not just about nutrition, but also about identity, tradition, and our place in the world. The perception of rat meat is fascinatingly fluid, shifting with geography, culture, and time. In places where it's a traditional food source, it's often viewed with pride, a symbol of heritage and resilience. However, with urbanization and changing dietary habits, rat meat is gradually losing its appeal among younger generations in some regions. It's seen as country food, something their grandparents ate, not necessarily something they'd crave. Ironically, in the West, where rat meat is largely taboo, it's starting to gain a foothold, albeit a niche one, as a novelty food. Adventurous eaters, fueled by curiosity and a desire to challenge culinary boundaries, are seeking out restaurants and pop-up events that serve rat dishes. This shift highlights the ever-evolving nature of taste and the influence of globalization on food trends. The mere mention of eating rats evokes visceral reactions in many, conjuring up images of disease-ridden vermin scurrying through sewers. However, it's important to separate the myth from reality. The rats consumed as food are typically field rats, trapped in rural areas where they feed on grains and fruits, making them arguably cleaner than their urban counterparts. Moreover, proper handling, preparation, and cooking methods, just like with any other protein source, are crucial to ensuring safety and minimizing any potential health risks. While the ITK factor might be hard to overcome for some, it's important to approach the topic with an open mind informed by facts rather than fear-mongering. My first encounter with rat on a stick was in a bustling night market in Thailand. The air was thick with grilling meat, tropical fruits, and a faint whiff of sewage. Stalls overflowed with exotic fare. Then I saw them, plump, glistening rats on bamboo skewers. My stomach did a somersault, but my passport was full of stamps. I wasn't backing down now. I approached the vendor. He grinned and handed me a rat. I took the skewer. I took a tentative bite. The first taste was surprising, not because it was repulsive, as my mind had prepped itself for, but because it was pleasant. The meat, surprisingly tender, yielded easily, offering a mild, slightly gamey flavor that was closer to rabbit than anything else. The smokiness from the grill had permeated the meat, adding a layer of savory complexity. There was a hint of sweetness too, perhaps from a marinade or maybe inherent to the meat itself. The texture was the most challenging part to overcome. A touch stringy, but again, not unpleasant. It was a primal experience, this act of consuming something my Western upbringing had deemed utterly taboo. And yet, there I was, chewing thoughtfully, analyzing the flavors, the textures, the cultural weight of the single bite. It was a reminder that taste is subjective, fluid, shaped by societal norms and personal experiences. The vendor, sensing my genuine interest, gestured enthusiastically, launching into a spirited explanation, his words lost on me but his passion clear. He pointed at the rat, then at the nearby rice paddies, his meaning dawning on me. These weren't city rats, he seemed to convey, but field rats, fattened on rice and grubs, a part of the natural ecosystem. His pride in his product was palpable, and it was contagious. We continued our silent conversation, a shared smile transcending the language barrier. And in that moment, it wasn't just about the taste of the rat. It was about the shared experience, the connection forged over a meal that defied cultural boundaries. It was a humbling reminder of the power of food to unite, to bridge divides, to foster understanding in the most unexpected of ways. So, would I recommend rat on a stick to the average traveler? It's a complicated question. It's not a culinary experience for the faint of heart. It requires an adventurous palate, an open mind, and a willingness to embrace the unfamiliar. But for those brave enough to venture beyond their comfort zones, it can be a rewarding, eye-opening, and surprisingly delicious journey. It's a chance to challenge preconceived notions, to connect with a culture on a deeper level, and to discover that sometimes the most unexpected dishes can lead to the most memorable meals. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to try rat on a stick is a personal one. But if you find yourself face to face with this unique culinary challenge, I urge you to remember that adventure, like good food, is best savored with an open mind and a hungry heart. Let's address the elephant, or rather the giant rat, in the room. The thought of eating a rat sends shivers down most Western spines. We've been conditioned to see them as disease-ridden vermin, scurrying through sewers and spreading filth. Their very presence evokes disgust, even fear. This deep-seated aversion is understandable, even ingrained, but it's important to remember that our perception of food is largely shaped by culture and upbringing. What's considered taboo in one part of the world might be a cherished delicacy in another. Think, for instance, of how many cultures embrace insects as a protein source. While the thought of munching on crickets might make some squirm, others relish their crunchy texture and nutty flavor. The key is to approach unfamiliar foods with curiosity rather than fear, understanding that our palates are more adaptable than we often give them credit for. Now let's talk about the very real concern of health and safety when it comes to eating rat meat. And it's a valid concern. Rats, especially those found in urban environments, can carry diseases. But here's the crucial distinction. The rats you see skewered and grilled on the streets of Southeast Asia are not your alley-dwelling, garbage-scavenging rodents. They are typically field rats, trapped in rural areas where they primarily feed on grains, fruits, and other vegetation. Furthermore, just like with any other meat, proper handling, preparation, and cooking are essential to eliminate any potential health risks. The high heat of grilling effectively kills off bacteria and parasites, making the meat safe for consumption. In countries where rat meat is common, food safety regulations and cultural practices often dictate how these animals are sourced, prepared, and cooked to minimize any health hazards. Section 3. Ratting out the risks, a matter of perspective. It's also crucial to keep things in perspective. While there's always a risk associated with consuming any kind of meat, whether it's chicken, beef, or even vegetables, the dangers of eating properly prepared rat meat are often exaggerated. In many parts of the world where sanitation and hygiene standards might not be on par with Western countries, people have been consuming rat meat for centuries without widespread outbreaks of disease. This isn't to say that there aren't risks involved, but rather that those risks are often blown out of proportion due to our own cultural biases and fears. As with any food adventure, it's essential to be informed, choose reputable vendors, and trust your gut, literally and figuratively. If you're unsure, it's always best to err on the side of caution. But don't let fear and misinformation prevent you from experiencing the cultural richness and culinary diversity that our world offers. Section 1. The verdict, a matter of taste and tenacity. So after all this, the burning question remains. Would I recommend sinking your teeth into a skewer of grilled rat? The answer, like most things in life and gastronomy, is a resounding, it depends. It depends on your willingness to step outside your culinary comfort zone and to embrace the sheer diversity of flavors that our planet offers. It requires a sense of adventure, a dash of open-mindedness, and perhaps a strong stomach. For some, the very idea is an insurmountable hurdle, a visceral reaction that no amount of rationalizing can overcome. And that's okay. Our palates are products of our upbringing, our cultures, our personal journeys. But for those willing to take the plunge, to push past the initial ick factor and embrace the unfamiliar rat on a stick can be a surprisingly rewarding experience. It's a chance to connect with a different culture on a deeper level, to understand the history and traditions that have shaped culinary practices around the world. Section 2. Embracing the unfamiliar, a culinary call to adventure. Traveling the globe, tasting the rainbow of flavors that each country offers has taught me one invaluable lesson. Food is more than just sustenance. It's a storybook of culture, a tapestry woven from traditions, beliefs, and the ingenuity of people adapting to their environments. What might seem strange or even repulsive in one corner of the world can be a cherished delicacy in another, a testament to the boundless creativity of human cuisine. So the next time you're faced with a dish that challenges your culinary comfort zone, I encourage you to approach it with an open mind and a sense of adventure. You might be surprised by the flavors you discover, the stories you uncover, and the connections you forge over a meal that transcends cultural boundaries. Section 3. Beyond the rat, a world of flavors awaits. The world of food is a vast and wondrous place, brimming with flavors and textures that are waiting to be explored. Don't let fear or preconceived notions limit your culinary horizons. Step outside your comfort zone, challenge your palate, and embrace the unknown. Whether it's a skewer of grilled rat in Thailand, a plate of crispy crickets in Mexico, or a bowl of fermented shark in Iceland, each bite is an opportunity to expand your understanding of the world and its diverse cultures. Remember, the most memorable meals are often the ones that challenge our expectations and introduce us to new and exciting flavors. So go forth, intrepid eaters, and explore the world one bite at a time. You never know what culinary delights await you just beyond your comfort zone. Happy eating! For more amazing food and drinks tips and recipes, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you never miss an update from us. Tell us about your thoughts in the comment section. Check out our other videos for more culinary inspiration. We love you. Until next time, keep cooking, stay adventurous.